Hi, my name is Stephanie, and I'm going to be talking about the Emergency Management Accreditation Program. So I'm going to just start off with what is EMAP. EMAP is the acronym. So basically, it's an accreditation process based on standards developed collaboratively at the national level. EMAP is specifically for local and state government systems in the United States. These programs are responsible for preventing and preparing for, and also coordinating response and recovery to disasters. This program examines strengths and weaknesses of emergency management programs and tries to strengthen all the programs to kind of have consistent guidelines to follow. I am going to read the mission. The mission is just like from the FEMA website, but the mission for the Emergency Management Accreditation Program is to build safer communities through standards of excellence. Their mission is to foster excellence and accountability in emergency management programs by establishing credible standards applied in a peer review accreditation process. So what is the need for this accreditation? Basically, state and local systems, it's vital for the health and safety of residents to have disaster preparedness, also for the security of business, government, and infrastructure. Damage caused by disasters and terrorism concerns are increasing every day, so having a program like this is very necessary to evaluate emergency management programs before a disaster hits. So how does EMAP work? Basically, it looks at jurisdiction's whole program, not just certain emergency management agencies, and it looks at their goals and it tries to develop their goals to focus on professionalism and accountability as well as building relationships. This program also is utilized to strengthen the nation's preparedness and response through these specific standards that were collaboratively agreed upon. So I'm gonna get into the accreditation process itself. There's a few different steps for it. Basically, first, there's a $125 registration fee. Then you have to do a self-study self-assessment. Third, you do an application. Then you do an on-site assessment. Then there's a committee that reviews your application. And then the committee decides what to accredit you with. They can either accredit you, conditionally accredit you, or deny your accreditation. And then after your decision is given out, you have accreditation maintenance and then reaccreditation every 5 years. And there's 3 different ways a program can show it's compliant to different rules within EMAP. One of those is written documentation, the next is interviews, and the third is direct observation. So I'm going to move into the EMAP standards. There's a lot of different standards, so I won't get into all of them, but I will talk about a few. So the first one is program management, basically how the program is organized and coordinates their emergency preparedness, response, and recovery. There's also the laws and authorities, which is basically legal standards to conduct these programs. There's hazard identification and risk. There is hazard mitigation, which is a strategy to lessen the impacts of a disaster. There's resource management, which is basically identification and distribution of personnel and equipment needed. There's planning, direction, control, and coordination, communication and warning, operations and procedures, basically how to execute plans and take care of risks that become present. There's logistics and facilities, training, so that's training for emergency management personnel as well as public officials. There's exercises, evaluations, and corrective, which is basically regularly scheduled exercises and evaluations to address these actions. There's crisis communications, public education and information, which is letting the public know before, keeping the public informed before, during, and after a disaster. And then there's finance and administration. So just a few facts about EMAP is 2 out of 19 states in 2003 were compliant with all 54 standards, and the 2 most non-compliant were hazard identification and risk assessment planning. But 3 out of 10 states met all operation and procedure standards. And just some of the benefits of being accredited is you get to assess preparedness programs against national standards, and it kind of shows the discipline and accountability. It can make your community feel a lot better by knowing that your emergency management plans and processes are accredited and kind of were looked through and made sure that they were thorough and were good plans. This also, a benefit is that there's a common structure for review and analysis among the state and local government nationwide. And overall, it just helps define emergency management. It keeps a consistent brand of emergency management. It helps a lot of the state and local governments be consistent throughout the country. So yes, I will attach my works cited. FEMA gave me a lot of information. So yeah, thank you.